Hey there, in this video we're going to look at some tips and tricks for using CC libraries and other kind of internal parts like the market. So you probably have used libraries before, maybe you haven't, but I've got my first library here. I'm going to add something to it. Okay, I'm going to drag it in there and I'm going to give it a name. This one is a cartoon that I did of my wife. Okay, so I've given it a name, and now where it becomes, well, a couple of tricks is that if I drag this out now, okay, it's connected to the library, which can be a bit of a pain. If I hold down Alt on a PC or Option on a Mac when I drag out, it's disconnected. So this guy's connected, this guy's not. What happens is if I double click this, and here I decide that, I don't know, not sure what I'm going to decide here. Quick think of something. Red eye, that'll do. If I hit save and I close it down, you'll notice that the library updates and this guy updated, but this guy didn't because he's disconnected. Often I do that. I just kind of hold Option and drag it out so I've got it disconnected. All right, other things we can do. Say that I'm working with another person, which I do a lot, and we're all remote. So what happens is, say I want to share this library. I've got lots of libraries. Check them out. Okay, and what I like to do is anything that has this, or I like to collaborate. So I've got a friend that helps me, another designer that helps me a lot of work, and we share this Adobe folder. Let's have a look at this one, Adobe logos, because there's lots of just Adobe stuff that we're allowed to use as certified instructors in a certified training center. Okay, and we share it. The way to share a library is, let's say here, you go up to this burger menu and you say collaborate. So share is what I do with a client. Say I want to send it to a client and here's the assets. You can't update them or mess with them. It's not a Creative Cloud library. It is just something that you can, artwork that you can use and download for your own usage. Okay, collaborate means I trust this other person and you can delete stuff and edit it and add new things. We work on it together. And all that happens is they get an email saying, would you like to collaborate? And they click yes, and they'll just end up in this drop down. You can tell the ones that are being shared with the two little heads there. Okay, you can share it with loads of people. One of the things that makes it quite useful is, like, say I decide to delete this one. Okay, I decide that, yeah, goodbye, you're gone. Okay, it's deleted. I can undo it, but let's say that I open up a document, well, the person working with me opens up a document and says, it's missing the thing, where did it go? And I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, there's an option in here to say view deleted items, and you can just kind of undelete them. It's pretty cool. The other thing you might do is when you click share a link, okay, and what ends up happening is they get given, you get to give them an option to say whether they are allowed to edit or whether they are just allowed to view. And let's say they're not like a designer and have a Creative Cloud license. That one's the one you send them, and I'll show you what it looks like from their side. So this is what they get. They log in, well, they don't even log in. Okay, they just click on it, and this is, do you accept? And this is what they get. That's the library option. What I might do is add, it's a live one. Okay, so if I add this, chuck Kitty back in there and jump back in here. I might have to refresh this and hopefully my internet's working fast enough. There she is. And what's really cool about it is if I click on, it's not a TIFF. It started life as a TIFF. That's why it's called a TIFF. But they can download it from here. Okay, they can save it. There's kind of limited action if they don't have a Creative Cloud license. It doesn't even have to be a paid one. So you can get them to, that's the pain, I guess, is they can get little bits of it. They can save the image, okay, and they can start working with that JPEG or that PNG. But if they want kind of full access, they need to sign in or sign up. It doesn't even have to be paid. Cool, let's close that down. So you can see colors as well. I use this quite a bit for web developers. So in my library there, I'll have all the colors that I'm using. You can even put fonts in there. Okay, we haven't done that yet. Let's check the font in. Actually, let's put it in as text, and that one's pretty hardcore. So what I might do is, let's kind of put it in there. If I click on this option here, I'm going to put in maybe the text and the character style, not all of that. Cool. So now if I go back into here and I go back out and I update. Cool. So this is character styles. I find this is really helpful for web developers that I'm working with. They know the font family, the size, the color, all that type of thing. If there was line spacing, that gets included as well. Really handy. What you see, there's a little web interface. So if they do sign in, they get a bit more, right? That looks like this or something like this. And they get to do a lot more, like they get to share it. You can decide on the access they have, okay? But there's just some really cool stuff in here. Let's say I want to go into this thing. Okay, it gives me, just a lot more details and a lot more things I can do and go and save. Under actions here, I can copy it, rename. There's all sorts of things you can do if you get a Creative Cloud license. The other thing I want to show you about kind of the library is back into Illustrator. It's not really the library, it's more the CC app. Okay, so on a Mac, it's up the top here, this little Creative Cloud icon. On a PC, I think it's in the bottom right, looks the same. Click on it. There's this one called Assets. This is like the hidden gem. Okay, you want to go to the one called Market. I love this one because it's free, commercial use, mainly icons, okay, vector stuff, and that you get to use for free commercially that Adobe give you. So whenever I'm in here, I'm like, hey, I really need I don't know, what do I need? I really need a credit card. I don't know why that. Credit cards. My wallet's in front of me. Credit card. Okay. And in here, there should be some credit card icons. Cool, huh? And what's really nice is most of them are vector. Just double check. Say you really like this guy. Click on it, and I'm going to download it to that library. Okay. Any of your CC libraries. Kick back, relax. Is it doing it? Oh, there it is over there. This one here is actually a Photoshop file. It's not quite what I wanted, but hey, I'll open it in Photoshop. Same library. That's why CC libraries are so cool. Card. Oh, there's all sorts of masks going on. It's all kind of bits and pieces. You will probably like me where you find stuff online, you're like, awesome. And it's like a solid JPEG and you got to kind of redraw it. So when you are looking in this, just make sure you're looking for SVG or AI. So let's say vectors icons. I bet you he is. SVG is one of the words you want. Okay, scalable vector graphic. That's a good term to use. Well, look for. I'm going to save it to my library. And now, here it is over here, SVG. I can double click on it. I'll just drag it out. I'm actually going to hold. What was the key? Remember, I hold while I'm dragging out. Yes, it's Alt or Option. And it means that start dragging, then hold that key down. And it means I've got two of them, but I've broken that link. And what's also cool is that it's vector. I can ungroup it. I can start messing with it. You might have to right click and release compound path. That happens quite a bit with SVGs from online. And the bits are there. You might have to do some fun and games to get this thing to work again. Yeah. All right, that is the secret little treat up there. The last kind of bit to deal with libraries is to do with stock. This kind of option here, it's up there as well. They're pimping it hard. It's just stock library stuff, right? You get 10 free to get started, and I use it, okay, instead of, it's an alternative for something like Shutterstock or iStock. Okay, the nice alternative for it is that, say I need a picture, a commercial picture, I need to pay for it, and I need some options, and I need it for, I can't think of, going credit card again. Okay, so it's going to look at an Adobe stock, really cheesy. Okay, I hate them. Anyway, so there are beautiful ones in there. Don't type credit card and look for really nice options. So that there here, the cool thing about it, it's really big preview. And what happens is when you're ready to buy, what you can do is go to here and just say buy. And if you've got like a monthly subscription, say I think I'm paying for 10, maybe 20 images a month. Okay, and it's something like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, something like that. Okay, so what ends up happening, you just, like, say you designed it and you've manipulated it and done some stuff to it. There is Adobe stock in the middle. So you've kind of manipulated, add some effects. What ends up happening is if you license this, it reaches back into your document and removes the watermark and this little number down the bottom. It's pretty clever. Works for Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, everything. There's video, there's not just images, there's illustrations as well. Yeah, I'm going to stop trying to sell you Adobe stock. All right, that's going to be it for Creative Cloud app and the CC libraries. Let's get on to the next tutorial.